So, like I said, right now, the tax doesn't change, right? But what's changing? The price, the total price, or sorry, the original price is changing. But what did I say? Did I say I wanted to calculate the total price when it was originally $9, $66, $50, or $200? No, it said any. So that means this is just doing one scenario each, right? That's not telling me everything. So how do I do everything? Well, I don't really know what that number is. So initially I'm going to write unknown price, right? Because it could have been $9, $66.50, right? But right now I don't know. But what am I going to add to that? I'm going to add 8% of, right, whatever that unknown price is. Maybe I'll put parentheses so that's easier to see, right? So I have the unknown price, and then I'm adding 8% of the unknown price, just exactly what we're doing up here. And then, what's my result? Well, since I don't know what the price is, right, I don't also know what the final price is with the tax. So I'm just going to write final amount, or final price. Okay, so, but in mathematics, we don't usually write all these words. We usually use symbols. So, I don't know what this unknown price is. It could be 9, it could be 3, 7, 100, right? It doesn't know. I don't know what it is. So, I'm going to write it as, let's use the letter P. So, this P, right, it could be anything. I could say, oh, P is equal to 200, or P is equal to 66, right? I get to choose, and I will plug in what that P is. But right now, I don't know what it is. So, I'm going to let it be open and just call it P. And what am I adding? I'm going to add 8% of that P, the unknown price. Again, let me put parentheses. And that's going to equal my final amount or final price. And let's just call it F, because we've been calling it F. So, we're actually pretty much almost there. What does percent mean? It means divide by 100, so I would move the decimal place twice. And so I would have P plus 0.08 of P is equal to F. Well, this dot, right, I don't really have to write that dot, so maybe I should write it neatly, and I'll do 0.08 P is equal to F. Okay, so don't get confused here. Right? What is the number or coefficient in front of the P? There's an invisible 1. So I have 1P here. I have 0.08P here. So how much total P do I have? Right? These are actually like terms. So that means I get to combine these two, and I get 1.08P is equal to my final amount. And that is my equation. That is what my register is actually doing. Now, right, what does this actually mean? Well, if you go to lesson 1.3, I explain it using pizza. But remember, this is telling me that I have the whole thing, right? This is one whole P. And then I also have the fractional part of P. Well, what does this all together mean? That means that I actually have 108% of P. Right? Again, what on earth am I talking about? Well, let's do it on the side. Just say this is my coat, my beautiful coat, super long. Well, just say it costs $200, like the original problem, right? And that's going to be 100%, right? Or represented as a decimal as 1. And then I'm adding tax. Right, and what is the tax? The tax was, when I did the calculations up here, what was the tax? It was $16, right? 0.08 times 200. I got $16. And what does that represent? That represents 8%. Right, that's a decimal of 0.08. And so, what did I do? I added these two together, and my total became $216. And that was my total. Well, I also, right, basically what I'm doing is I had $200, which is 100%, and I'm adding $16, which is the tax, or 8%, And so what am I actually paying? I'm paying for 108% in total. Right? That's what's actually happening, and that's what this actually means. Right? If I plug in a 200 here, what would happen? Okay, let's just say, okay, I go to the register and my coat costs $200. So let's actually plug this P into here and see if I get the right answer. Well, that means I would get 1.08 times 200, right? I'm going to plug it in, so I'm going to put parentheses, is equal to my final amount. Okay, well, let's do that math on the side. I have 200 times 108. Right, so I move the decimal place twice, so I have to move it back twice later. So 8 times 0, 0, that nothing happens, and I get 16. And then I put a 0, because now I'm working on the tens place, but there's nothing there, so I just put zeros. And then now I'm working on the hundreds place, so 1 times 200, I get 200. And when I add everything together, I'm sorry, it's very, very small, but I get, and I move my decimal place back twice, and I get $216. Was that what I got before? Yes, it was. When I did it over here, that is what I got, 216. So that's how that works. Oh, but yeah, that was a lot, wasn't it? That was a lot of work. But the idea here is that in the very, very beginning, right, I didn't know what the price is. Actually, you know what? Let's not go too deeply in this. Let's do another problem so that we get a better understanding.